Hi, welcome to Choose Happy Learning. Today we are going to see an important topic which is like availability. So when we prefer cloud, the main thing will be like we need to make sure there is a high availability. So that will be an important feature when you just switch to cloud. So let's get into the topic. So as we discussed, we are going to see the topics theoretically and practically. So when we have the options for availability, there are multiple features like prerequisites, and we also need to make sure like what are all the options. Why are we exactly choosing this and that? So that's what required. So I would like to cover some basic availability options which are associated with some virtual machines or which are associated with our environment. So when it comes to availability, we have availability set, availability zone, and virtual machine scale sets. So this will be like if I have some virtual machines, or in that case, like I will place them in an availability set, availability zone, and virtual machine scale set. So in this video, I have tried to cover all the like possible availability options for infrastructure as a service services like virtual machines and these kinds. So next is like we also have some availability options like load balancers, application gateways, and traffic managers. So these are like more on like just splitting the traffic. When I have the availability sets, availability zones, and virtual machine scale sets in place, so in order to them work in like more efficiently, I can use it behind a load balancer in that case. So that will be the case. So basically, like if someone is expecting you to answer something like availability, you need to answer like availability set, availability zones, and this is very important. And apart from this, like when it comes to practical scenarios, you need to also explain the virtual machine scale sets and their operations as well. So availability set, when it comes to availability set, it is like so if I have an virtual machine, okay, if I have some shopping websites in place, and these shopping web application that is being hosted to multiple virtual machines, okay, in that case I have some 2 to 3 virtual machines hosting a shopping website web application, okay. So I will not be exactly sure, like I can be sure like in this particular location, my physical hardware of that virtual machine is going to be placed. But can I be so sure that my particular virtual machine, or so and so virtual machine, is going to be placed in this particular hardware? So it is not the case. So what if all the three virtual machines are being placed to a single hardware, physical hardware? Just imagine this is a physical hardware, and here itself all the three servers are placed. Okay, what happens if the power goes, like there is some power failure or some network failures? In that case, no. So if all the three are in same physical machine, what will happen? There will be a downtime. So that's not the right case, right? So what Azure provides you is this availability set option. So it will make sure if you have enabled this feature, it will make sure it is placing them in a separate physical hardware. Like there are two things when you are going to provision this thing. No, you will have this fault domain and update domain option. So if you want to set an availability set while creating a virtual machine, you will see an option. And also it is like this, for some regions only it will be available. So you will mainly have to choose the how many fault domain and how many update domain. So what is fault domain? Fault domain is like a physical hardware, like this thing, power and network, I have it separately. So if it means like I'm going to place the virtual machine in this fault domain, which means if there is any power failure or network failure, the rest of the machines will be up running and there will be high availability. So this is like some unexpectable situation. So what if there is some planned, this is like unplanned activity. What there is any planned activities, like what might be the planned activities, like you might have the planned activities such as there might be some updates, upgradation, or in that cases, no, what it will happen? So you need to reboot those servers. So that case also you may face some downtime. So what we need to do is, so if we place them in different update domains, then it will make sure that it will be highly available. So for that reboot and all case, it will be like in separate update domains. So it will make sure all, it is not getting rebooted all at once. So that's the case for availability set. But one main thing is like this all will be under a single data center. So what is availability zone? So here comes the superhero availability zone. So what exactly it does is, in case this data center, entire data center goes down because of any flood or any circumstance like maybe fire accident, something. So that time, if they are telling like, okay, something happened to the entire data center, you don't have this, like you will face some downtime. Will it be valid? No, it won't be valid, right? So in that case, availability zone means placing it in different region, different zones, like different zones inside a particular region, like in different data center. For example, like I have a data center in one location, in another location, and in another location. So what happens if something happens to this entire data center also, still these two data center will be up running, so there will be an high availability. Mainly they may ask some questions related to what is the exact difference between the availability set and availability zone. So let's get into the topic, which is like load balancer. Load balancers main role is like just dif- like it will just split the traffic and sense it. Okay, so what it happens is like I have some traffic, so it will sense like port 80, it need to send to this device. Then there are two load balancers, like public load balancers and the private load balancers. Public load balancer is like if it need to be exposed to the public internet and I have some web tires, in that case I'll use this public load balancer. Private load balancer or internal load balancer, which can be used for securely inside a SQL database, in that case we'll use this. So load balancers rule job is like splitting the traffic. So what exactly happens? So if I have a load balancer, I need to have a front end IP address and the load balancing rule, which is very important. So it might be a public or private load balancer, and also it need to have an health probe, which is like okay, I'm just imagine a situation. I have one website running. Okay, behind the load balancer, I have a load balancer here, and it has two virtual machines. So it has three virtual machines. Okay, it's keep on running. Okay, just imagine these are like a person, and I am a boss. Here is a boss, and he is going to distribute the three works. Okay, and this particular person is dead, but dead or unhealthy, something. So only these two members are working. What if I keep on assigning the work to three members equally, 40%, 40%, 30%, something like that? What happens? This work will be, it's actually waste because he's not healthy or he's unhealthy and he's not going to work, he's dead, something happened. So just assigning a work to him is totally waste. So what, I have a health probe, it will like keep on checking for every, as we need to mention it like every 3 seconds, go and just check. Example, I'll just mention port 80, go and just check port 80 three times. If it is not pinging three times, if it fails, which means this particular virtual machine is not up running. So don't send the traffic to this, just send it to this two, like distribute the traffic to these two. That's what the exact role of a health probe. So next is like application gateway. It is not as dumb as load balancer. Okay, it will be like something which is which works on an application layer. Okay, so if I have something, I'm going to like in a URL basis. Okay, there in a load balancer, it will blindly just distribute the traffic as per we mentioned. But here we have much more efficient ways. Like for example, if I have a website and if some users are like typing and searching like images.com, so video.com, so it will sense the URL like images, then it need to go to this particular pool. Video, then it need to go to this particular pool. It will redirect that efficiently. So that's the exact role of a application gateway. And another one thing we have is a traffic manager, which will be like DNS based routing, and it will be like global, it will work global. If I have something to distribute the traffic globally, means we can use this traffic manager. There are multiple ways, like based on weightage, performance, something, we have multiple things in this traffic manager. So for now you have options like load balancer, application gateway, and a traffic manager as well. Okay, So for everything, you will have a backend pool, and you need to have the proper setup as well. If you want more details, you can just go through this documents. Thank you and happy learning.